Did you know that Nikola Tesla was indeed a eugenicist? Steve Jobs was a tyrant who ruined his friend's life. And Thomas Edison electrocuted an elephant. Well, these super intelligent people involved themselves in bad activities, and history remembered them as life-evil geniuses. In today's video, we have listed the top 10 geniuses who were actually terrible people. Before we start, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Let's start with number 10. Nikola Tesla was indeed a eugenicist. On the internet, saying anything even remotely unfavorable about Nikola Tesla is risky. People tend to hold him up as the good man in his confrontations with folks like Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse, and he's become virtually a patron saint of the science side. But as the Smithsonian points out, he was just a man at the end of the day, and no one is flawless. To the point that you question whether clairvoyance exists, Tesla was very brilliant at forecasting how things would turn out in the future. Regardless, we can only hope that his prediction that eugenics would be popular by 2100 was incorrect. In 1935, Tesla was making predictions for the journal Liberty, just as the Nazis were getting into their stride. One of them was that we should stop creating people he thought were inferior. He believed we had done an excellent job in the past due to survival of the fittest, but society had softened and needed to begin filtering out less attractive strains. Sure, sterilizing criminals and mentally ill people was a start, but he argued that we also needed to make marriage more difficult to ensure that only decent people bred with each other. Tesla never married because it was too difficult to keep at least one bad person from reproducing. Number 9. Thomas Edison's electrocuting an elephant. Though Tesla has become the patron saint of the internet, Thomas Edison's reputation has taken a hit in recent years, but he is still considered one of the greatest innovators in history. During the so-called War of Currents, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla fought over which kind of electricity was superior, Edison's DC current or Tesla's AC current. Because it was created by a far more attractive scientist, the obvious option was to use AC current, which was based on Tesla's ideas. It was also, insanely efficient or something. Not wanting to be proven wrong and eager to keep America bound by the ridiculously inferior DC system, Edison sought to show America that AC electricity was safe by slaughtering pups with it. Yes, Edison committed puppycide as a reaction to the fact that someone had created a much, far superior way of supplying electricity than his own. You're not an innovator when showing your intelligence includes murdering animals. You're a serial murderer in training. Number 8. Abraham Lincoln was extremely racist. The Emancipation Proclamation was issued by Abraham Lincoln, thus eliminating slavery. Abraham Lincoln has become a symbol of progressive ideas and equality. However, surprise, surprise, he was a bigot. This tall, skeleton guy has stated that he is opposed to the social and political equality of the white and black races. He opposed black people voting, holding office, or marrying white people. He may have despised slavery, but he did not believe in equality. Number 7. Albert Einstein was a horrible husband. Any list of geniuses must include Albert Einstein. He was a genius who invented a slew of new sciences, most of which are utterly beyond the comprehension of the average person. Let's stick with E=mc² for now. Mileva Maric, Einstein's long-suffering first wife, was one individual who probably didn't believe he was all that. According to the New York Times, his letters revealed that he was nasty to her and their 2 boys. It was one particular letter that demonstrated how horrible things had become. After their marriage began to fall apart, Einstein decided it would be a good idea to send his wife a list of all the rules she would have to follow if they were to stay together. And jerk is written all over the list, via lists of note. She still had to wash his laundry and cook 3 meals a day for him, which he would eat by himself, because screw you, wifey. His place needed to be cleaned, but she was required to leave when instructed. And their marriage would be devoid of intimacy, something she was not permitted to request. She also had to stop talking when he commanded her to. Despite this, she was never permitted to say anything disparaging about him to the children. It's no surprise that she left Einstein after only a few months. Number 6. Patrick Henry locked his wife in the basement. "Give me liberty or give me death," yelled Patrick Henry, who helped establish the country, but also confined his wife in the cellar. To be fair, he apparently did so to avoid sending her to a mental institution, which would have been harsh at the time. However, there may have been another reason for his conduct. Some felt his political aspirations and reputation were on the line. In any case, we're guessing Sarah Shelton Henry did not receive the assistance she required. Number 5. For strippers, Robert McCormick uses the company card. Robert McCormick was the CEO of the internet technology firm Savvis, but that didn't stop him from making a huge error in terms of common sense. McCormick proceeded to an expensive gentleman's club, fittingly named Scores, and swiped his work credit card for $241,000. The business credit card, we said. Scores are noted for its exorbitant charges, including $10,000 lap dances, tens of thousands of dollars in champagne bottles, and McCormick's allegations of fraud. When McCormick received the massive bill, he challenged virtually every item, informing American Express that he had only spent $20,000 total. Scores argued that the club has a policy that requires every charge above $10,000 to be verified. They capture the cardholder's fingerprints and even have them call their credit card provider to confirm the transactions. American Express sued McCormick for the money after 2 years of non-payment and the failure of McCormick to offer any evidence of fraud. Savvis, McCormick, and American Express finally reached an out-of-court settlement, but not before McCormick resigned from the firm as a result of the incident. Number 4. John Lennon hit a lot of people. John Lennon was a peace activist, right? Well, not quite. The fabled world peace-loving Beatle was actually a very abusive person. He beat his son and cheated on his first wife, Cynthia Powell. He smacked several people, primarily ladies, and said, "That is why I am always preaching about peace. The most aggressive individuals are those who seek love and peace." A man who thinks that he can be absolved of his bad behavior by admitting it. No way. Number 3. Steve Jobs was a tyrant who ruined his friend's life. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, may have a lengthy list of heinous acts on his record. While he was the brains behind some of the most popular devices in recent decades, he was a complete jerk to practically everyone he encountered. There are enough instances on Business Insider to last a lifetime. He once came into a meeting with a torrent of profanities we won't repeat here because he believed certain staff was working too slowly on a project. He sacked individuals at Pixar without warning or severance compensation when he was in charge. By never providing one of Apple's initial workers stock options, he cheated him. During his interview, he asked at least one possible recruit if he was a virgin, and more. He began as he intended to continue. He was assigned a mission to do while working for Atari when he was young, and he was paid well for it. Instead, he enlisted the help of his buddy, Steve Wozniak, lying to him about how much they were getting paid and only paying him a small percentage of the total. But it was his daughter Lisa whom he treated the hardest, denying paternity for a long time. She ended up in poverty while he lived a life of luxury. But hey, at the very least, we now all have great phones, right? Number 2. Joe DiMaggio is incredibly abusive. In debates about the best baseball players of all time, Joe DiMaggio is frequently included with Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle, yet his marriage to Marilyn Monroe was highly violent. He was smitten with her and believed she should give up her work when they married. He exercised as much influence over her as he could when she refused. He had to approve all of her movies, she couldn't outshine him, and he thrashed her when she stepped out of line. He stayed fascinated, pursued her, and bought a sex doll that looked like her after their divorce, 9 months after they married. Number 1. Martin Luther King Jr. watched as a friend and pastor raped a woman. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great civil rights activist. We have a whole holiday dedicated to honoring his memory. However, it turns out that our perception of MLK is overly simple and sanitized. According to freshly discovered FBI papers, as a student, he plagiarized portions of his dissertation, had several mistresses, and purportedly watched while a buddy and pastor raped a woman. All of this being said, the FBI did all they could to destroy MLK while he was still alive, so take everything with a grain of salt while the records are still sealed until 2027. This video has come to an end. Do you want to see an updated version of 10 geniuses who were horrible people? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Till next time.